Hey guys, with Wipe around the corner, it's time to start grinding those rubles again. So today, I have a method that's worked for several wipes already, and I have no doubt it'll work in 12.12. So hopefully you can learn something new today. Let's jump into it. This method is actually pretty straightforward. All we're gonna do is avoid building out our own hideout and selling the items that we collect to the market for a very high rate. Let me show you what I mean from the last couple of wipes with some of the items that you need to build out your hideout. Let's take a pack of screws for example. At the start of the wipe in December, they started out at 30,000 rubles. Then within a few weeks, they dropped down to about 7,000 rubles. It's a very similar story for our last wipe. They started out at 38,000 rubles, and then in a few weeks, they dropped down to just 5,000 rubles. So you can see where I'm going with this. So here's a few more examples for you. These are common items that you need early on in the wipe, and you can see that they all have the spike when the wipe first starts, and then they pretty much plummet after that. Things like hoses will last a little bit longer in terms of value because you need them for late hideout stations. And things like bolts are used for a lot of different crafts, so those are gonna hold their value throughout the wipe. Regardless though, they all have that immediate spike at the beginning, and that's what we wanna take advantage of. There's a couple things you're gonna need to make this possible though. First, you're gonna have to hit the flea market level. Right now, it's currently 15, but at the start of the wipe, it was 20. So we don't know exactly what they're gonna start next wipe, but I'm guessing it's gonna be 15 because a lot of people didn't hit that 20 mark and quit before then. So you could be pretty positive that it's gonna be around 15. And the second thing you're gonna need is the Lucky Scav junk box. That's located at Therapist level 1, currently at least, and then maybe next wipe we'll know if it's gonna be Therapist level 1 or 2. They actually moved it from level 2 to level 1 to help people organize their stash a little bit more. You're gonna really need that if you're gonna be collecting barter items and hold them until you're level 15 to sell them on the flea market. So this is always my #1 priority when I'm saving up money. Right when I hit about maybe 1.5 mil, I spend that 1.1 on the scav box and save a ton of room. And that's gonna be extremely important for anybody who has the standard edition because space is really hard to deal with early on. So for your PMC, you need to prioritize leveling yourself to level 15 like I mentioned before. So while you're playing your PMC, make sure you're doing tasks as much as you can and get that level up and make sure you survive. I know that's easier said than done, but play it careful when you're a PMC because those survivals are what's gonna level you up the fastest. And then when you're playing your scav, try to make your scav runs as fast as possible. Don't get caught up in running around with the scav gangs and having fun with VoIP since that's coming out. That is gonna be a lot of fun, but it's gonna take you away from your objective, which is getting those barter items saved up and then getting right back to your PMC so you can start leveling again. So whether you're going in with your scav or your PMC and you want to collect some hideout items early on, the best place to do it is Interchange. It has the highest abundance of hideout items and barter items in general, and all you have to do is run through a few different areas here. So what I'm going to do is show you a quick run at Interchange and show you how many hideout items you can get just doing this. So here we are on the front side of Ollie. You may not spawn anywhere near this as a scav, but if you navigate to Ollie, just go through the same sections that I do, and it doesn't have to be in the same order, just the same areas is fine. So we're just gonna make our way up these stairs. You could also come in through the garage over here as well. We are going to completely avoid this left side, which is where the tech store is and the furniture store. That's where a lot of the PvP is going to happen, and it could be a little bit dangerous. And other player scavs may be a little bit more hostile towards you in that area if they found something good. So what we're going to do is stick to the main shelves in Ollie. We're not even going to the side rooms or anything like that. So there's these small shelves that are towards the cashiers, and then there's also the big tall shelves in the back. All we're going to do is just check all the shelves and load up on stuff. If you come here as a scav, you may not find as much as I do here, but you're still gonna find stuff that's left over because there's a lot of loot in this place. There's no particular order you need to loot this place. You just kind of need to go up and down the aisles. And I'm not really sure if it's gonna be like this next wipe, but some of the items just stick up off the shelf, so they're really easy to see and they kind of glow in the dark, which that shouldn't change, but the floating part might. So we're just gonna go ahead and loot up and down these aisles and show you what kind of loot you can get here. I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit, but I'll still show you the loot in the end. You can check in here for a couple computers if you want. Along those back walls has the chance to spawn car batteries. Also, make sure you loot any toolboxes you run across, because there's quite a bit here. It has a good chance of giving you bolts and nuts, which are really important. And there's a couple more computers in here. So that's the main part of Ollie. Now you'll make your way to the loading dock, which there's some more of these bays here that have a lot of the same items that you just saw. There's also a toolbox here. And car batteries could spawn on these baskets here. So at this point, my inventory was already completely full, and I had a lot of good items. If this was the beginning of the wipe, these items would be worth so much money. So I would absolutely get out at this point and avoid any possible confrontation. If you're a scav, you can most likely leave out of the railway exit, which I would consider more safe than the Emercom. And if you're a PMC, it depends where you spawn. If you have Emercom as your exit, maybe consider checking power station for the car extract if it's there. That could be safer than Emercom. Obviously this run wasn't as thorough as it possibly could have been, but it's just to showcase what kind of loot is actually here. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of how you guys are going to get rich in 12.12. I'll have a ton of content coming out throughout this wipe, especially in-depth loot guides, so make sure you like and sub if you want to see me pop up on your feed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.